If you've been spending countless hours in the gym, putting in the time and effort for months or even years, yet you barely look like you lift, then listen up. Because in this video we are going to cover 5 proven ways to look bigger fast so you can finally see noticeable changes in your physique. First, we'll focus on long-term solutions to looking bigger and more muscular over time, and then we'll direct our attention to the shorter-term solutions in case you want to go out and look your best right now. Building an impressive physique with quality mass can take a lifetime, but the following 5 tricks will help you get there as fast as possible. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Tip number 1, build bigger shoulders. The first trick to looking bigger fast is to focus on building the right muscles. Broad shoulders are hands down the foundation of a muscular build. Before we get into the science of building broad shoulders, however, let's look at some comparisons to prove this point. If you see a guy with broad shoulders in mediocre arms versus a guy with massive arms in a small frame, who looks bigger? I think you would agree that the guy with the broad shoulders in mediocre arms looks bigger and more aesthetic. And although having bigger arms is a nice touch, focusing on building broader shoulders will make a much larger visual impact. That said, here are 3 shoulder exercises that I recommend for bigger, rounded delts. The first exercise is the dumbbell shoulder press. One study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research compared the standing barbell overhead press, the standing dumbbell overhead press, the seated barbell overhead press, and the seated dumbbell overhead press. They concluded that the standing dumbbell variation produced the greatest overall shoulder activation. Moving on, lateral raises and reverse flies will give you a broad look and cap off your shoulders. We'll put these exercises together because they serve similar purposes, only with different parts of the shoulder. One study published in the International Journal of Environmental Research in Public Health found that performing lateral raises with the thumbs pointed slightly downward produced the greatest middle deltoid activation. If this style of lateral raise causes discomfort, I'd recommend leaning slightly forward to remove the pressure from the shoulder joint for the reverse fly. One study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research looked at different hand positions. They compared a variation with palms facing forward and a variation with palms facing down towards your feet. They found that the palms facing forward variation produced the greatest muscle activation in the rear delts. That said, I recommend choosing a grip that feels the most comfortable for you. Incorporate these 3 movements into your training and you'll have no problem building broader, more aesthetically pleasing shoulders. Tip number 2, train like a bodybuilder. While heavy strength training will build muscle, you're better off focusing on bodybuilding style training for most of your sets. That means staying in the 6 to 15 representative range and having a small portion of your training where you incorporate heavier sets of 1 to 6 reps and lighter sets of 15 to 25 reps. A study from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research compared lifters performing 7 sets of 3 reps and 3 sets of 10 reps, with total volume being equal after 8 weeks. No significant changes in muscle mass were noted. With that said, the heavy group took much longer to complete the workout and had a higher dropout rate. Not only that, but the heavy workouts were also harder and the lifters reported more injuries. This isn't to say that we should eliminate heavy lifting completely, but rather the majority of our training should be done in the 6 to 15 representative range. Tip number 3, get lean, not shredded. Most shredded guys, particularly natural lifters, can hardly fill out their shirt sleeves. And while being lean does help your muscles pop a bit more, getting completely shredded typically makes you look skinny and flat, which is why I recommend staying within the 10 to 15% body fat range. Go any higher and you'll likely appear less muscular due to lack of muscle definition. Too much leaner on the other hand, and you'll end up weak and deflated. If you enjoy being that lean, that's totally fine, but keep in mind that getting above 10% will not only make you appear fuller and more muscular, but the additional calories will help you support your performance in the gym. Tip number 4, carb up. Losing body fat to get lean requires a caloric deficit, regardless of the dieting style you choose. And eating fewer calories typically means consuming fewer carbohydrates. If you are in this dieting state and training hard, you'll deplete your glycogen levels and start to look flat. Incorporating high-carb days will not only help you look bigger for the next few days, but it's a great way to maintain your strength during a fat loss phase. Here's a quick example of how to incorporate high-carb days during a cut. Let's say the amount of calories you need to maintain your weight is around 2,600. If you're dieting, you may be consuming around 2,100 calories on most days. To carb up, you can increase your carbohydrate intake by bumping your calories up to maintenance and getting the additional 400 calories from high-carb foods. Not only will your muscles look much fuller, but you'll be able to perform better and experience a much greater pump in the gym. Which brings us to tip number 5, get a pump. Getting a quick pump is the next way to make yourself look bigger fast. It's the main reason bodybuilders pump up before getting on stage. The goal with the pump up set is to draw as much blood into the muscles as possible. The best way to do this is with high rep training, preferably sets of 15 reps or more with lighter loads. Here's an example of a quick pump workout you can perform before you get dressed to go out. The first pair of exercises you'll perform are a max set of push-ups paired with lateral raises to failure. The second pair of exercises you'll perform are reverse flies and dumbbell curls, both for 15 to 20 reps. Give these a shot next time you're going out and want to fill out your shirt a bit more. So there you have it, 5 simple tips to look bigger without actually having to put on a ton of muscle. Did you find this video helpful? If so, click the like button below as it'll truly help out the channel.